And just take a little bit of time to let go of your fin, move. To let go of, what are we, Wednesday? Let go of not just your day, but maybe even the last 3 days for the start of our week. Close down your eyes and take a little bit of time to feel yourself fully arriving on the mat and landing in this space. So what we want to try and do here is differentiate between the day that was and the week that was, and try to bring our awareness into the four corners of the mat that we are on and fully into this space. And start to just connect a little to your breath. Slow the breath down as best you can. And start to give that breath a little bit of direction. As you inhale and feel that beautiful expansion, draw the breath a little further down into the torso. Aim for an expansion through the front of the body rather than a lifting up through the shoulders. And then just start to invite some softness. Soften your jaw, soften the shoulders, chest, the belly. And just take a little scan through the physical body to see how it's feeling this Wednesday evening. So when I invited you to soften the shoulders, was there any resistance there? Do you need to move around a little? Perhaps let the head gently move from side to side or forward and back. Maybe a little roll of the shoulders up, back and down, just to release any tension there. And you might move a little from side to side with the torso, or take some just circles through those sit bones. Can give you a little bit of indication as to how the lower part of the body is feeling. So I taught my first spin classes this week in 4.5 months, and I can tell you that my butt is sore. So when I take this little scan through the body and move around, I'm like, yeah, there's soreness there, which hopefully won't affect many of the yoga poses, but it's a definite thing. So I started teaching classes back again at PowerLink, and it's been interesting seeing how the body is responding to those classes that haven't been done for quite a while. So that's the kind of things you can wrap awareness around, but also you might have something else going on in your body, or there may be something that you live with, like my sciatica, for example. I know that I need to be quite mindful during certain one-sided forward folds to make sure that I'm not giving that any opportunity to flare up. So certain of our poses can be a little nervy through the backs of the legs, and that's sciatica territory. So you might have something like that, or a lower back or upper back issue. So wrap awareness around anything that comes to you during this inquiry. And as we know, nothing in this class is compulsory. It's all completely voluntary. So now that we have a little bit of a handle on how the physical body is feeling, and we've started to invite some softness to those areas that were a little tense or tight or gripping, bring yourself back to your breath and start to slow the breath down as best you can. Draw it all the way down into the belly if you can. And start that expansion from there, the front, the back, the sides, letting that breath continue to rise all the way up into the chest. So at the peak of the inhale, you'll feel the ribcage expand and the collarbones will lift just a little. And then on the exhale, we get to invite softness as breath leaves the top of the chest, the bottom. Feel the diaphragm muscle come in as the ribcage draws in as well, and let that navel softly draw in towards the spine. So it's that beautiful slow breath into the torso. Feeling that expansion from the bottom of the torso through the middle all the way to the top. And then that softness from the top through the middle and lastly the bottom. So with your eyes closed down, just take one or two more of these deep belly breaths or yogic breaths. Sometimes they're called diaphragmatic breaths. And then with your next breath in, let's peel the eyes open, bring the hands towards the ceiling to meet in prayer, and exhale, guide the hands to the heart. Let's go again. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time, just let your fingers touch on this one. And on the breath out, let the right hand come down and the left arm reaches for the right. So let's come back nice and tall with the breath in. Let the fingers touch here, and on the exhale, reach over to the left. And we'll go again. Inhale and exhale. Let's hold on the right side. Just take a moment, just with some little movements with the breath, to sink a little deeper into this crescent shape, this C shape. Perhaps you press the floor away a little with your inhale and then go that little bit deeper with the exhale. One more breath. And then hold here and see if you can just gently draw that left shoulder back just a little, and you'll feel that stretch perhaps down into the top of that left hip as well. And then let's inhale, bring the hands towards the ceiling to meet in prayer, and exhale, guide the hands to the navel or solar plexus. Interlace the fingers here, and with the breath in, we draw the hands towards the chin, the elbows lift nice and high, and on the breath out, round through that spine, chin to chest, navel to spine. Inhale, lift the arms. And as you exhale, bring those hands all the way behind. Fingers interlaced here, and we draw the hands towards the floor. Lift them up away from the buttocks. Let the shoulders draw back. Broaden a little through the collarbones. Send the gaze to the ceiling with the breath in if your neck feels okay. And on the breath out, release the hands to the heart. Let's keep the hands in prayer. Inhale, send them towards the ceiling. And exhale, find your cactus arm. And then inhale, let your fingers touch. And as you exhale, let the left hand come down. Right arm reaches to the left. And we'll come back nice and tall with the breath in. Let the fingers touch. And on the breath out, let's reach to the right. One more time. Inhale, fingers touch, and exhale to the left. Hold here. Settle a little into this crescent shape. Drop the shoulder. Maybe you soften through that elbow. And just take a few breaths to drop a little deeper into that C shape, crescent shape, whatever you'd like to call it here. And then just draw that right shoulder back just a little. So instead of having that shoulder close down a little, we draw it back and feel that nice stretch through the top of the right glute and a little into the hip. And then let's inhale, bring the hands towards the ceiling to meet in prayer, and exhale, guide the hands to the navel or solar plexus. Interlace the fingers here. Inhale, draw the hands towards the chin, the elbows lift nice and high, and exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest, navel to spine. Lift the hands with your inhale, and release the hands all the way behind with that exhale. Fingers interlace here, hands towards the floor, lift a little up and away from the buttocks. Draw the shoulders back, broaden through the collarbones, send the gaze to the ceiling if your neck feels okay with that breath in. And then on the breath out, release the hands to the heart. Keep the hands in prayer. Inhale, send them towards the ceiling. And exhale, find those cactus arms. And then one more breath, just bring the hands back towards the ceiling to meet in prayer. And exhale into Anjali Mudra to the heart space. And then think about how you might like to transition to your hands and knees. Any way you get there is fine. I like to inhale, lift the arms, and exhale. The hands come out in front and uncross the feet. And just start to find your way to your tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we'll just come straight into a little bit of cat and cow. Let your belly drop here. Chest comes forward, gaze forward or eye gaze to the ceiling. And then exhale, round through your spine. Chin to chest, navel to spine. Let's go again. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale to curl. One more time. And exhale. So let's just come to a nice neutral spine, and as you inhale, take your right arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, just let that arm float under. Don't let it land yet. Turn your head to the left so we get a little bit of movement through the neck as well. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, let it just float under. One more time. This time we'll let the arm land. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, slide that arm now underneath the left. Bring the right side of your face down onto the mat here. And you can either leave your left hand sitting here, or you might inhale and take that arm up towards the ceiling. And the other option from here is to bend at the elbow, wrap that arm around the lower back and reach for the top of the right thigh. So we're gently drawing that shoulder back, opening up a little through the chest, whichever position we've chosen for that arm, that left arm to be in. One more breath. And then let's use our next breath to take that left arm back underneath the shoulder and press the floor away. I'm just going to turn front on here so we can, let's find our puppy pose, hands out in front. Take a breath in and sink towards the floor with your breath out. So we've got chin and chest reaching towards the mat. Maybe a little bit of movement with the breath, a little lift on the inhale and go that little bit deeper on the exhale. Last breath. And then lift high enough so you can walk your hands off to the right side, letting that left hand walk a little further out than the right. So we can stretch down that left side of the rib cage. Take a breath in. Sink towards the floor with the breath out. Feeling that nice stretch through those intercostal muscles that line the rib cage. One more breath. And then use your next breath just to lift high enough so you can walk your hands back through the front and off to the left. Right hand walks a little further out than the left. Inhale and sink towards the floor with that exhale. Getting that same stretch, but this time down the right side of the rib cage. And then let's lift with our next breath in so we can walk our hands back underneath the shoulders. So we'll take that flow now to the left side. Inhale, take the left arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, just start to float that arm under. And we'll go again. Inhale. And exhale. Getting a bit of warmth through the neck. One more time. Inhale, take the left arm up. And on the exhale, slide that arm underneath the right. Left side of the face comes down onto the mat. We draw that left shoulder back towards us. Right hand can stay where it is, or you might inhale, lift it up towards the ceiling. And maybe bring it around that lower back and reach for the top of that left thigh. Gently drawing that left shoulder back towards you. Opening up a little through the chest. One more breath. And then let's bring that right hand back underneath the shoulder. And we'll press the floor away with our next breath in. I'm going to slide around once again. So I want us to get a little bit of movement through the spine here. That's not a cat and cow, but I'll show you what I mean. Let's walk the hands about a hand's length out in front. Come forward to find a nice low plank as you inhale. But as you exhale, tap the toes round a little through the spine and then sink the buttocks towards the heels. So you might actually lift up with a little bit of roundedness through the spine and then come forward and even come down a little bit. So maybe send the gaze towards the ceiling and then round through the spine, coming to a kind of cat shape on your way to child's pose. And do that again. So if you like, you could hold here and maybe even turn and look over the shoulder and turn and look over the other shoulder. And then round a little through the spine. One more time. You don't even have to stop. You could just make it a little fluid kind of movement. And now let's come forward, find that nice low plank as we inhale. And we'll lower all the way to the floor as we exhale. And bring hands out in front to find your Sphinx pose. Soften the shoulders down away from the ears and draw the elbows in towards the rib cage. And just take that little twist and turn. So take a breath in, and on the breath out, turn and look over your right shoulder. And then come back through center with an inhale and turn and look over the left shoulder. And I want us to be set up now for seal pose. So for seal pose, before we do anything, squeeze your glutes together just a little. Feel your pubic bone pressing into the mat, but also drawing a little up towards the navel. And then we straighten our arms and lift the chest. So arms are straight, but they're still quite narrow. It's not cobra, and it's not upward facing dog, seal pose. But to protect the lower back, keep drawing your navel in towards your spine. You saw that little movement there from, if you look at my torso, a little movement to keep the lower back from crunching. Navel to spine, pubic bone to the navel. Take one more breath in. And then on the breath out, lower to the floor. And we'll bring hands under shoulders. Tuck toes, lift through that nice low plank with an inhale. Exhale, lift the knees off the mat. But keep the legs bent and come back to a kind of bent-legged child's pose. So pressing the palms of the hands firmly into the mat. When you feel ready, take a little pedal. And I don't know if you heard that, but my ankle just gave a loud crack. Letting one heel at a time come down towards the floor. So just finding our way into downward facing dog, warming through the backs of the legs a little here. And then find your way to stillness. And we're going to take a similar flow that we took moving forward to low plank back to child's pose. So it might look like this. We come forward, except Jake just walked into the way, to a nice low plank. And then you might bend the knees and round yourself back and kind of a little, whatever feels nice for you here, moving forward and back through that bent-legged downward facing dog to find your plank. One more time. It's just a nice way to move into your dog. And you could even start to take a little movement of your heels from side to side as we flow a little back to stationary downward dog. And then hold in your down dog and just take a breath. Check your feet at hip distance. Hands remain shoulder width, fingers are spread nice and wide. Chest drawing back towards your thighs, heels melt towards the floor. And then let's look between our hands, and we might walk or step or jump our feet to the front of the mat with our next inhale. And exhale the chest down onto the thighs. Then take a nice slow spinal roll with your breath in. Feel bone stack on bone. And hands meet in prayer towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And just take a moment, we haven't stood up for a little while, so just take a moment to settle into this Tadasana before we start to take some flows around the mat. One more breath, soften the shoulders. And then let's inhale, bring the hands towards the ceiling to meet in prayer. And exhale, forward fold down onto the mat. So take a little bit of time here, just first forward fold, so pedal through the feet. You might bend in one leg and straighten through the other, and just gently shift the weight from one side to another, but moving that torso forward and back. And then come to stillness, and as you inhale, hands slide halfway up the shins, and we exhale to a nice flat back. Crown of the head towards the front of the room, hips and glutes towards the back. Take one more breath in. On your breath out, release the hands to the floor, and let's step the right leg to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge, but drop down through the back knee. Inhale, lift the arms. You want to take a little flow to get a little warmer here. Exhale, the hands can come down and we'll slide the hips back. And put those two moves together. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down. Hips slide back. We straighten a little into that left leg. One more time. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, the hands come down. We slide the hips back. Holding here but walking hands back towards that knee. So toes are drawing back towards the shin, heels pressing firmly into the mat. Lift a little as you inhale. And on the exhale, bring that chest a little forward and lower it down over the front thigh. So we're kind of combining two moves together here. Our half splits, Ardha Hanuman, and head to knee pose, Janu Shasasana. So this is a forward fold, one of those one-legged ones that fortunately doesn't ever affect the sciatica because the leg can be a little bit bent here, a little bit different than when our leg is flat on the floor. Let's now shift or send the weight back into that left foot. And we can keep the right hand on the mat and inhale, take the left arm towards the ceiling. So try to draw the left knee in towards the middle of the mat. Draw that left shoulder back just a little more. Take a nice deep breath in. And then on the breath out, let's release the left hand. We'll tuck the toes on the right leg, lift the right knee. But we'll slide that left leg to the back of the mat. And now find a plank, high or low, your choice, knees up or down. Take a breath in, lower to the floor with that breath out. Hands a fraction wider than your shoulders. Shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, lift and find your cobra. So drop the shoulders and hug the elbows in. Take one more breath in. On the breath out, release the chest. Hands under shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift through your plank. High or low with an inhale. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. We look between our hands, walk, step, jump our feet to the front of the mat with an inhale. Exhale the chest down onto the thighs. Nice slow spinal roll with that next breath in. Feel bone step on bone and hands reach for that tall mountain pose. Now as we exhale, we'll forward fold back down onto the mat. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg now steps to the back of the mat. Nice, big, long runner's lunge. Drop down through the back knee. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bring those hands down. Slide the hips back. So we find that half splits pose. And then come forward with an inhale. Nice, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, bring the hands down. Hips slide back. Toes peel off the mat. One more time. Inhale to come forward. Exhale. Hands come down. Hips slide back. Hold here. Allow your hands to walk towards that knee at the back of the mat. Toes draw back towards the shin. Heel pressing firmly into the floor. Lift the chest a little on the breath in. Bring the chest that little bit forward and lower it down over the front thigh with the breath out. And just take one more breath. And then let's walk our hands back to frame the front foot. Left hand can stay on the mat and we'll inhale, take the right arm up towards the ceiling. So we want to draw the right knee towards the middle of the mat. Press firmly through the left palm. Take a nice deep breath in. And then on the breath out, release that right hand. Tuck the toes on that left leg. Lift the left knee. And slide the right leg to the back of the mat. So we find our plank, high or low. Take a breath in. Let's lower to the floor with that breath out. Find cobra once again. Hands a fraction wider than your shoulders. Inhale, peel your chest off the mat. And exhale, lower to the floor. Hands under shoulders, tuck toes, lifting through that plank. High or low with an inhale. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Look between your hands, walk, step, jump your feet to the front of the mat with your inhale. Exhale, chest onto thigh. Nice, slow spinal roll with that breath in. Hands can reach the tall mountain pose. And exhale, hands to the heart. Hold for a breath. And then inhale, lift the arms. And we'll swan dive this time. Leave the chest, arms out nice and wide. Flatten the back, hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Right leg now steps to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. Let's inhale, lift the arms. And as we exhale, bring those hands behind, interlace the fingers. Draw the hands towards the floor. Lift a little up and away from the buttocks. I want you to slightly draw that right hip up and under. Lift a little through the ball of that right foot. The heel lifts, slide it back, engage the hamstring. So the leg is fully activated. And then maybe send that gaze towards the ceiling with a nice deep breath in. And then on the breath out, release the hands to frame the front foot. We'll slide left leg to the back of the mat. Find your plank, high or low. Take a breath in. Lower to the floor with your breath out. Let's bring the hands out in front. Bend the left leg. Take the hand around, take hold of the top of the foot. All I want you to do first is just draw that heel in towards the buttock. And notice where you feel the stretch through the front of your leg. And then start to kick the foot back and maybe lift the thigh. And notice how the stretch changes position just a little. And then do one more thing. Walk your hand around the top of the foot and take hold of the inside of the foot. And notice then as you kick back how you start to open through the shoulder and a little through the front of that chest on the left side. And you've changed again the feel in the front of the leg. So one more breath. And then let's release that. Let the foot go. Left hand down in front and bend the right leg. And take the hand around just firstly, taking perhaps hold of the top of the foot or the outer blade, and just drawing the heel in towards the buttock. Feeling the stretch through the front of the thigh. And then take that little kick back. That changes things just a little. And then maybe walk the hand around the toes to the inside of the foot. As we open up and rotate through the shoulder, we change again the feel of that stretch through the front of the thigh. Maybe you hit the hip flexor a little. You feel it in the glute as well. One more breath. Release that now and bring that right hand underneath the shoulder and the left hand. And we'll tuck toes and lift through that plank, high or low with an inhale. Exhale back. Find your downward facing dog. Look between your hands, walk, step, jump your feet to the front of the mat with that inhale. Exhale now, chest onto thighs. Bend the knees, flatten the back. Reverse the swan dive with an inhale. Hands meet in prayer. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Let's exhale, swan dive back down onto the mat. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps to the back of the mat, nice big long runner's lunge. We inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, sink into this high lunge, bring the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Draw the hands towards the floor, lift a little up and away from the buttocks. So we want this little tuck of that left hip up and under. So it's a little up and under with the hip bone. Press into the ball of that left foot. You'll feel the heel lift a little. Slide it back, engage the hamstrings. The whole leg is fully activated here. So maybe you send the gaze towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And then on the breath out, release the hands, framing the front foot. We'll slide that right leg to the back of the mat. Find your plank. Take a breath in. Lower to the floor with your breath out. So take your hand out to the front once again. We'll cross the bow this time, so bend the left leg, but take the right hand around to take hold of the top of the foot. And just start again with the heel in towards the buttock. And then kick back. And you might even press away a little through this left hand. And then walk the hand around this time to the outer blade of the foot. And kick back a little more and see how that feels. And if your lower back is crunching a little, draw the navel in towards the spine. Take one more breath. And then let's release that foot. Change sides. We bend the right leg. We take the left hand around. Now, Take hold, usually you just take hold of the inner blade of that foot, draw the heel in towards the buttock. And then when you feel ready, little kick back. Maybe there's a little press. And then we start to walk the hand around the toes and take hold of the outer blade of that foot. Just noticing a few differences, just small movements can change the feeling through the body in a big way. We open up through the shoulders and the chest here. Let's release that foot now and bring the left hand underneath the shoulder and the right hand and tuck your toes and lift through your plank, high or low with an inhale. Exhale back to the downward facing dog. Look between your hands, walk, step, jump your feet to the front of the mat with your inhale. Exhale, chest onto thighs. So let's take a nice slow spinal roll this time. Let bone stack on bone and hands can reach for tall mountain pose. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And just take a moment here, just a few breaths to let what we've done so far settle before we take our next flow. So soften the shoulders here. Feel the soles of the feet reaching down into the mat, floor below the mat. And then let's inhale, lift the arms. Swan dive, back down onto the mat with your exhale. Find your halfway lift, your Ardha Uttanasana with your breath in. Forward fold with that breath out. So right leg steps to the back of the mat, nice big long runner's lunge. I want you to inhale, lift the arms. And this time on the exhale, bring those hands down. And start to slide the hips back a little, straightening into that left leg. Let's move between those two. Inhale, lift the arms. High crescent lunge here. And exhale, bring the hands down. And hips slide back as we straighten somewhat into that left leg. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come down. And slide the hips back and straighten into that left leg. And just hold here for a breath or two. Right heel is reaching for the floor behind us. And then we can start to bend into that left leg. Keep the right hand on the mat and inhale, take the left arm up towards the ceiling. Take a high revolve lunge this time. You could take that hand and wrap it around the lower back and reach for the right hip. Draw that left shoulder back just a little more. And then let's bring that left hand back onto the mat. What I'd like you to do here is just draw this left elbow in towards the left rib cage and make a fist with your hand. We're finding an arrow. So as you inhale, lift this right arm, but keep it parallel to the floor. Now we have a kind of arrow shape. So I want you just to think of something, anything, small, big, in between, that you might like to release. And when you've got that, and I did this one night and someone said, my ex-husband, release the hand, release what you're letting go of, and draw that left hand behind you. And now we are open through the chest and facing the left. So open a little bit more. And then let's inhale, straighten through the front leg. And as you exhale, sink back into this high crescent lunge. And then let's release the hands down to frame the front foot. I want you to slide the right leg back just a little, drop the knee. Bring the left hand to the inside of that foot and heel toe that left foot to the edge of the mat. So we're we are in a lizard shape. And if you're fine, come down onto your forearms. Don't have to though, I'm not tonight, I'm staying up here. And working more on a stretch through this right hip flexor. So if you like, you could tuck toes and slide that foot back even more. Let the knee come down and then feel like you're trying to draw that knee to the front of the mat. Just to get that nice deep stretch through the front of the thigh. One more breath. If you are on your forearms. Think of coming back up onto your hands. And option here to draw the right heel in towards the buttocks and take the left hand around and take hold of the top of the foot. Play around here. You might take the inside of the foot and then walk the hands around and take hold of the outside of the foot. And turn and look over that shoulder into a kind of corkscrew. And then release that foot. And bring the hands back. You can keep the left foot where it is. Tuck the toes on the right foot and lift the right knee and slide the left leg back. Find your plank. Take your breath in. Lower to the floor with your breath out. So let's bring our hands out in front and try a bow pose here. But go nice and slow. So bend both of the feet in. And let's just start with hands drawing both of the heels in towards the buttocks. And then we can slowly kick the feet back into the hands. And maybe we lift the chest a little. And you might kick a little more, a little more. You might lift a little more through the chest. And take one more breath in. And lower to the floor with the breath out. Release the feet. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift through your plank. High or low with an inhale. Exhale back. Find your down dog. Look between your hands and let's walk, step, jump those feet to the front of the mat with an inhale. Exhale, chest onto thighs. Take that nice slow spinal roll as we inhale. Feel bone stack on bone and hands can meet in tall mountain pose. And exhale, hands to the heart. Take a breath. That was quite a big float. Let everything settle. One more breath. Then let's inhale. Let the hands reach. Exhale, swan dive down onto the mat. Use your in-breath to find your Ardha Uttanasana, your halfway lift, your flat back. Exhale, Uttanasana. Left leg now steps to the back of the mat. Nice big long runner's lunge. And we keep that knee lifted. Let's inhale. Lift the arms. And on the exhale, bring the hands down. And we'll start to slide the hips back. Left heel reaching for the floor behind. 2 more times. Inhale. So strength and balance here as we press through the sole of the right foot. Exhale, the hands come down. The hips slide back. 1 more time. Inhale. Lifting the arms. Exhale, the hands come down. Hips slide back. And just hold here for a breath or two. Just giving this right leg a little chance to not be bent, as it's often in that bent position as we take those high lunges. So giving an opportunity for the hamstring to get a little bit of an opening and a stretch here. And then we'll bend into that right leg once again. Left hand on the mat and inhale, take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Taking that nice high revolve lunge. Take a nice deep breath in. So we're going to release the right hand as we exhale. But take that right elbow in towards the rib cage. Make a little fist, and as you inhale, left arm lifts parallel to the floor. So feel like you have a bow and arrow. This is bow and arrow pose. And then I just like to think of something I would like to release or let go of. Let it go and extend that right arm out to the back and then turn to the right. And drop a little through that right leg. And then we can inhale and straighten through the front leg. Stay facing the front and just exhale, sink back to that high crescent lunge. And then let the hands come down to frame the front foot. We'll slide the left leg back a little before we drop the knee and bring the hands to the inside of that right foot and heel toe that right foot to the edge of the mat. Now you can, if you want, you can come down to your forearms if you're okay with lizard. Tonight or not, I'm just focusing a little more on the hip flexor on that left leg. So I'm just going to slide my foot back a little more and then come on to It's almost the very bottom of that thigh, the top of that knee. So it's not the kneecap. So allow yourself 1 or 2 more breaths. And then think about lifting back up onto your hands if you're on your forearms. And maybe you take that left heel in and we take the right hand around and take hold of the top of the foot and draw that foot in towards the buttock and look over that right shoulder. Let's release that foot now. So we can tuck the toes on the left leg, lift that left knee and slide the right foot to the back of the mat. Find your plank here, high or low. Take a breath in. Lower to the floor with that breath out. Let's take our bow pose once again. So bend both of the legs and bring the hands around to take hold of the tops of the feet. And when you're ready, that little kick back, that little lifting. So feel like you're drawing your shoulder blades in towards your spine and you're kicking your feet, but draw the knees in towards each other. Don't let them splay out to the side. One more breath. And then release the feet. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift through that plank. High or low with an inhale. Exhale back. Let's find downward facing dog or child's pose. You can take 3 breaths in down dog or 3 breaths in child's pose. Both are resting poses. Before we take that next flow, and you can pedal in down dog or stay in stillness. Just letting everything settle. So as you take your next breath in, if you're in child's pose, lift back to your downward facing dog. So we're going to tiger curl this right leg. So let's inhale, take the right leg towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, and as we exhale, draw the knee to chest and start to shift the weight forward. And then inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, knee to chest. One more time. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, knee to chest. We shift the weight forward. We want to step that foot between hands at the front of the mat. Shift it along if you need to, so the knee's tracking over the ankle. Drop that back heel, and let's inhale and lift the torso and exhale into our warrior 2. So just check that your heel is lined up with the arch of the back foot. You might slide that left heel back a little. Chest faces long edge of the mat, hips a little bit off to the side. Chest, hips. Gaze down that middle finger. Just a little flow here. We're going to inhale, straighten through the front leg. And exhale, sink into warrior 2. And do that again. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hand sink. One more time. Inhale. But as we exhale, let's come through warrior 2. Let that forearm come down and back arm reaches for the front of the room. We want to dip that little pinky and send that gaze towards the ceiling. Now, option here, let's have a go at just releasing that right arm off the thigh and using the side core muscles to just reach to the front of the room here. And then let the right hand come back down. And you might take that left hand around and reach for that right hip. Maybe your hand comes a little onto the top of the hip. So draw that left shoulder back just a little. One more breath. And then let's release that hand back to the front. And we'll inhale and lift and find warrior 2 once again. Exhale, sink a little deeper into your warrior 2. Let's let the right hand come down and windmill the left hand. Turn on to the ball of that left foot. Slide the right leg back to downward facing dog. Find your down dog. Take that little pedal Pause in stillness. Now you staying down dog, I'm just changing sides so that don't have my back to you and then I'm actually facing when we take the next side. So let's try to curl the left leg. Inhale, take the left leg towards the sit. Bend the knee and exhale, knee to chest as we shift that weight forward. And then again, inhale, leg comes back, bend the knee, exhale, knee to chest, weight shifts forward. One more time, inhale, send that leg back, bend the knee, exhale, knee to chest. We shift the weight forward and step that foot between hands at the front of the mat. Drop the back heel, and as you inhale, lift the torso. And on the exhale, let's sink down to warrior two. Just a little bit of alignment. Heel lines up with the arch of the back foot. We soften the shoulders a little here. Gaze down the middle finger. Let the chest face the long edge of your mat and hips that little bit of naturalness. And then inhale and straighten through the front leg. And exhale. We want to see if we can drop a little deeper into warrior two. And again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. Now this time on the exhale, we come through warrior two. Left hand on that front thigh. Right arm reaches to the front of the room. And then we take that little option of releasing the left hand off and feeling like we're reaching both hands to the front of the room, working through the side oblique muscles. Left hand comes down now. Let's take that right hand and wrap it around, reaching for, it could be the left hip or it could be the top of that left thigh. Maybe one day we'll take the bind, hey, and see how we go. Not tonight, you can if you like. You can take the bind. So let's release that hand back out and inhale and find that warrior two once again. Sink down into warrior two. And we'll let that left hand come down and windmill the right hand and turn onto the ball of that right foot. Let's slide the left leg back, find your downward facing dog. Little pedal through the feet. Back to stillness. So we're going to tie the curl this time. And I might turn front on, but we're going to take a little bit of movement through the legs. We're setting up for a pigeon. No, that mat's a little slippery. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's start with the right leg. We'll inhale, take the right leg up towards the ceiling, bend the knee. Now what I'd like you to do first is just draw the knee to chest like we did. And then inhale, send the leg back. This time bring the knee to the right elbow as you exhale. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee, take it across the body to the left elbow. Let's go again. Inhale, send the leg back. Go to the right elbow, right elbow. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee. Exhale, knee across to the left elbow. I want you to straighten that leg out to the side. If you're able, take the left arm towards the ceiling. Let the inner heel or inner blade of your left foot touch down. And this is called fallen triangle. Lift the hip a little. One more breath. We'll take the left hand down, turn onto the ball of that back foot, yeah, the left foot. Draw the right knee back in towards the chest. Lift the leg, bend the knee. Now yawn that hip open to the side. Option here to flip the dog. The right foot can touch down behind you, and you can let that right hand reach for the front of the room. A little wild thing here. One more breath. And then let's flip back. So right hand comes back down onto the mat. We open that right hip back out. And then use your next breath in. Draw the hips back through center. As you exhale, draw the knee towards your chest and slide it down behind the right wrist crease. Slide the left leg back and untuck the toes. Knees a little wider than the hips. We'll take a nice deep breath in, lift through the chest. And on the breath out, allow yourself to just find your way to first your forearms. So we can just have a little check-in with how this right hip is feeling, the glute, perhaps even the hamstring. And then let's use the breath to go a little deeper into this pigeon pose. So take your breath in, and then as you breathe out, see if you can come a little closer to your mat, slowly finding your sleepy version of your pigeon. Now soften your shoulders, relax your belly, unclench your teeth, soften your jaw. And all the while, see if you can go that little bit closer to your mat. And then feel into this right side, the hip, the glute. Where are you feeling gripping through the muscles? Where can you invite the breath just to open up, expand on your breath in, and then soften that a little on your breath out. So can you invite softness to one or two or maybe even 3 areas that are presenting with this little bit of tension and tightness? So one more breath. And then start to use your next inhale to gently press the floor away and walk your hands back towards that knee. We can tuck the toes on that left leg, lift the left knee and slide the right leg back to find downward facing dog and take that little pedal through the feet. As we set up for that little tiger curl flow on the left side, come to stillness in downward facing dog. And then let's inhale, take the left leg up towards the ceiling, bend the knee. First, just draw the knee in towards the chest, shift the weight forward. Inhale, send the leg back. We'll take the knee to the left elbow. Exhale, bend the knee, knee to left elbow. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee across the body to the right elbow now. Inhale, send the leg back. We go back to left. Inhale, send the leg back. Bend the knee across the body to the right elbow where we can extend that leg out straight. And then come on to the inside of that back foot and draw that right hand towards the ceiling. Lift the hips, fall in triangle. One more breath. And then release the right hand, turn onto the ball of that right foot. Draw the left leg back, bend the leg, and yawn that hip open to the side. 3-legged dog. Option to flip the dog, left foot comes down. We turn onto the outer blade of the right foot and draw the left hand towards the front of the room. Flip that dog back, turn back onto the ball of the right foot. Open that hip up once again. And then inhale, draw the knee back through center. As you exhale, draw the knee in behind that left wrist crease. Slide the right leg back, knees a little wider than the hip. We can lift on our breath in through the chest and start to find our way down onto the mat as we breathe out to our forearms to start with. Now straight up I can tell this side is a lot tighter for me than the other. Maybe you feel the opposite, maybe the same. But just let yourself use your breath to kind of soften the areas where there's tension. So often for me, pigeon, my shoulders get a little tight and I don't even know it. My jaw stays fairly loose, but a lot of us, our jaw will clench. See what's happening in your body. Sometimes the belly grips as well. But I know I have a lot of tightness going through the back of the hamstring on this side, which I didn't have on the other. So we're all quite different. So ease your way to what I call a sleepy version of the pigeon. We work to get our chest that little bit closer to the floor. You might find that your torso is sitting on top of your thigh. But feel into this left, when you're in your sleepy pigeon, feel into the left glute, the hip, the hamstring, wherever you're feeling that tension. And how can you start to invite softness there? Creating space to start with, opening up through the muscles. And then when you're ready, just start to slowly press the floor away so we can walk our hands back towards that left knee. This time we're just going to slide our weight over to that left buttock, and I'm just going to swing around so I face you and draw the right foot either to this side of the knee or take it to the other side. We're just setting up for a twist here. If your right glute has lifted off the mat like mine, just slide the right hips back a little, and we can take the right hand behind, inhale, lift the left arm, and exhale, bring that elbow or hand to the side of the knee. Lift and lengthen with your breath in, and then we twist with the breath out. Let the shoulder lead the way, shoulder, rib cage, chest. Lastly, that head and neck turn. So each breath in is that lift and lengthen, and each breath out, we work a little deeper, twisting a little more. And then let's slowly turn our head and neck back through center. Rest of the body can follow. And we're kind of perfectly set up here. Keep the left leg where it is. If it's available, can you draw that right knee across so that we as best we can, we stack our knees on top of each other. If not, just keep the legs like this. It's just cow face pose. And we can take hold of, my internet must be playing up, so I just paused then. Take hold of the tops of the feet, take a breath in, and slowly allow yourself to come forward here. If you want to bring your hands out in front, you can. You can turn this into a more soft or gentle forward fold rather than having the hands back here. Slide them out in front. So a nice deep stretch through the hip. I don't know if it's nice. It's a deep stretch through the hips. I quite like this pose, but lots of people have difficulty with it. One more breath. And over the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a half cow face pose with one leg straight out in front. So I thought we'd try a full one tonight. Let's inhale and start to slide the hips back. And then let your hands just come all the way behind you and uncross the legs. And let's take that little palate cleanser. So we just bring the legs nice and wide and let them gently windscreen wiper from one side to the other. And we're going to take that twist to the other side. So come back through center. Left foot comes in, and we can either have the right foot on this, right foot comes in, my bad. Right foot comes in, left foot's either on this side or the other. And I don't know if that happens for you, but my glutes always lift off when I set up for this Ardha Mrityasana. So draw your hips a little towards the back of the room, and the left hand can come behind, and we'll inhale the right arm up, and exhale, elbow or hand to that knee. So lift and lengthen with your breath in, creating that nice elongation through the spine. And then on the breath out, shoulder, rib cage, chest, lastly your head and neck turns to the wall behind. Hello, Jackie. How are you, sweetheart? So each breath in is that lift and lengthen. Each breath out, we work a little deeper into the twist. So use your next inhale, turn your head and neck back to center. Rest of the body can follow. We got Jake with us now. Watch. Oh. And then let's draw this left knee across the right knee. So we set up for that cow face pose on the other side. And you might start just taking hold of the feet. It's a bit difficult, JJ. Hey? Take a breath in and slowly, slowly lower the torso. Hello, baby. Oh, you're so cute. But now your bum's in my face, and that's not cool. You might slide your hands out in front. So it's a nice stretch around the outside of the hips. And then let's just start to slowly draw the hands back and lift the torso while I get cat bottom in my face. Yes, I'm talking to you. You. Slide the hands back. And I'm just going to twist around here. So let's bring the feet out in front. But what we might do is just slide the hips a little closer, or buttocks a little closer to the feet. Lift the arms as we inhale. And then start to let yourself just come back onto your mat as you exhale. And we'll draw one knee in towards the chest at a time. Just give those knees a little squeeze and a little rocking from side to side. You're very affectionate tonight, Jake. And then can you let your left foot touch down, but keep the right knee in. Let's just draw that right knee out to the side and gently draw it up towards the right shoulder or underarm. Flex the foot a little here. Take a breath. And then draw the right knee back in towards your chest and take hold of the outer blade of that right foot. Just gently draw the foot in towards the chest and let that right arm just come around the outside of the knee. Just gently rock that foot across the body, just 1 or 2 times. And then place that ankle on top of that left knee and just gently press that knee away. So we're just going to draw the left knee in, right hand threads through the legs, left hand to the outside. Take hold of either the back of the thigh as you interlace the fingers or just below the kneecap. Flex both of the feet here and draw that left knee in towards the chest and press the right elbow into the inside of that inner right thigh. And maybe lift your head and shoulders off the floor here, curling into this little kind of figure 4 seat point. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, lower your head and shoulders and let your left foot touch down and bring your arms out to the side. We'll heel toe the left foot to the edge of the mat and legs as they are, just let them gently drift to the right. And maybe your head turns to the left here. Or maybe it's towards the ceiling. Just see how your neck feels. One more breath and we'll change sides. So gently, when you're ready, slide the right foot off the left knee. Draw the knees through center. And let those knees just gently fall to the left. Left heel or ankle can sit on top of that right thigh now. So we're just taking a little twist through the spine as well as working a little into that glute. And you might turn your head to the right. And then slide that left foot off and draw the knees back through center and all the way back in towards the chest. Just give them that gentle squeeze. We want to let the right foot touch down now and keep the left knee in and just gently draw that leg out to the side. Drawing it up towards the shoulder or underarm just to give it a little bit of opening through that inner thigh. And then we'll take that knee back in towards the chest, reach down and take hold of the outer blade of that left foot. Keep just the left hand where it is. All we're going to do is just gently rock that leg just a couple of times, back and forth, across the body. And then eventually let that left ankle sit on top of that right thigh. Press away through that inner left thigh with your left hand, and then draw the right knee in, left hand threads through the legs, right hand to the outside. Interlace the fingers behind the thigh or below the knee. And gently press that left elbow into the inside of the left thigh. Flex both of the feet. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. And maybe lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Curling into this little figure four seed pose. Take a nice deep breath in. And then on the breath out, lower the head and shoulders first. Then let that right foot touch down. Arms come out to the side. You could heel toe the right foot to the edge of the mat and then just let those legs as they are gently drift to the left side. Head can be whatever's more comfortable for your neck. To the left, to the ceiling, to the right. Let's slide that left foot off the right knee and draw the knees through center and over now to the right, where the right heel or ankle can sit on top of that left thigh. And head can be in any direction that best supports you. Slide now that foot off the knee and just allow a few little windscreen wiper actions, letting the knees gently fall from one side of the mat to the other. And then we can come back through center. Oh, Jake, draw the knees in towards the chest and give them that nice gentle squeeze as we interlace the fingers over the shins and lift those head and shoulders off the floor. Point the toes here, hard the forehead and knees as close as you can towards each other. Take a nice deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, lower your head and shoulders first. Then let your feet touch down below the buttocks and extend one foot at a time to the bottom of the mat. Feet open out to the side, arms to the sides of the body. Flip the palms, palms face the ceiling. Close down your eyes and let yourself settle into your final pose, your Shavasana. Knowing now that all of the work has been done and there's nothing left to do, just to be on the mat. So allowing this lovely softness now to enter into the body. And feeling as if you're releasing these inaudible sighs from the body as you come to stillness and allow yourself to come to stillness. Sometimes that's the hardest thing for us to do, is to feel it's okay to be still, it's okay to do nothing, it's okay to just be in our bodies, in the space that we've created through our yoga practice. And in the beautiful movement of prana, of breath, of that energy through our bodies. And just allowing that essence of softness to really anchor in. Because we've done all the work. So let that softness creep into your toes, your feet, your ankles. Feel it travel up the legs through the shins and calves and the knees, the thighs and the backs of thighs, into the hips, pelvis, the glutes, the belly, through the middle back and upper back. Soften the chest, shoulders, down the arms, upper arms, the elbows, forearms, the wrists, the hands and all of the fingers. And feel the whole back of the body dropping that little bit deeper into the mat. Relax your jaw, your cheeks, forehead. And you can start now to allow your breath to begin to slowly deepen. Start to bring your awareness back to your space on the mat, your position in the room. And allow that awareness to slowly expand to the four corners of the mat that you are on, to the four corners of the room that you are in. Allow that awareness to expand beyond the space that we've created for our practice. You might notice the little sounds that drop back in from that outside world. And then let the sound of the bells gently guide you back to your physical body, once again on your mat inside your space. And start to invite some little flickers of movement and energy into your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you rotate your wrists and your ankles. You might gently let your head move from side to side. And then as you feel ready, you could extend your arms overhead so fingers reach to the wall behind, but let your toes point to the wall in front. And just take a nice deep breath in, letting your body become as long as it possibly can. Feeling yourself re-emerging, re-entering into your Wednesday evening. Bending your knees and making your way over to your favorite side. So you can rest your head in your upper arm and your forearm with eyes closed down. Just taking some time here to bring all of the lovely gifts, all of the goodness that you've received from your practice fully back with you, so you can integrate through the physical, the mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic bodies, whatever resonates with you here. And then as you feel ready, you can begin to make your way very slowly and mindfully, there's no hurry, back up to a comfortable seated position. With eyes closed down, bring hands into prayer, so thumbs rest gently in on your sternum. Soften the shoulders. Reach the crown of the head nice and tall, so the spine is super straight. And just notice how you're feeling as you soften into this seated position. How you're feeling now at the end of your practice. And let yourself just drop down into your heart space. I just want us tonight just to think about all the wonderful people in our lives, our friends and family, all the wonderful things that we have, a roof over our head, furniture in our house, a house even, food on the table. When we start to break down and really look at each individual thing or person or relationship or everything that we have in this life, We get to really experience how much we have to be grateful for, to be thankful for. So pop all of that into your heart space. Let yourself just drop into your heart space with all of the lashings of gratitude, acknowledging just how blessed we are with everything and everyone that we have in this life. Thank you so much for joining me for our Wednesday night Zoom yoga. If you'd like to unmute yourself, we could chant together one Om and three Shantis. Take a nice deep breath in. Om. Take another inhale. Shanti. 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 Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Namaste.
Thank you. So good.
Jake was being very affectionate tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the cat's name? Jake.
Jake, the black one's Jake. So he was all over me while you were in Shavasana. Funny little thing, needs affection. What time will your daughter get home then?